Hi and welcome to Attendance Register developed using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and some component on Bootstrap. So let me show you guys how this works. Okay, this is the last day. We need to mark this very register. So I'm going to click on that and let's enter the date. That happens to be 7. And we just enter who is present. And it seems to be all of the students are going to be present. There we go. And as you can see, we're counting as we'll enter the data, the mark of each student there. And right here we have the pictures of each student, and we can also click on any of those students and let's see, there we go, and that is Turner himself. Okay, let's go back in there, and we can also, let's check out Sally Southend. That's Sally Southend details right there. Okay, let's see, maybe Tony Montana. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Notepad++, and we put one of these very advanced tutorial together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to start a new tutorial of this attendance register system. So I'm going to enter the basic HTML, and what I'm going to do is I will go straight into language, and right in the language I'm going to select, let's go for PHP. There, we might as well save this. I'm going to save it as register, maybe register 2, because I seems to have a couple of them in there. And right here, those are the pictures I'm going to be using. Okay, we've seen those now. It's right inside my directory, so I'm just going to enter register in there. So I'll call that register 2 there and save. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is, since I have embedded some component or the main component of Bootstrap right inside the body, I might as well call the class, and I'm just going to say the class is going to be P1. I am going to be using just P1 because as you guys know, Bootstrap actually divide the screen into 12 columns, so I'm just going to be using one to make because this is just an ordinary register. It's not an ordinary register because there's a lot of work involved. So now I'm just defining my system, my form, and inside the form I'm just going to call that student management system. Oh, okay, let's give this form a name anyway, student. Right, that's the name of the form. Then I'm going to call my method, and this, in this case, I'm just going to call that method post. And there. Then let's go for the action. The action is going to be, let's just call that register. Register.php. There. And that is that. Close that. And I might as well just close the form right underneath here. Just come right there, paste that in there, and let's close that. So that yeah, that's good. Okay, let's add Dave in here, and let's just say Dave, and that is, let's say class is equals container. There. So what will happen with this container is I'll be able to just collapse my system the way I want. Okay, so I'm going to base this class right inside rows. There we go. There. And just before I forget, I might as well just close this right underneath here. Add space in there, close that, and just copy it. Close the other one. Right, that's fine. And right below that I'm going to create table. let's say the table, that's going to be where most of the information with regards to my register will be. Okay, there's going to be the color, and the text is going to be white. Okay, and we'll just make it bold. So this table, let me come right down here and just close that table as well. Now what I'm going to do is, to make life easy for me, I'm going to create my table header. So let's just call it, that's my table header. I'm going to close that table header as well, and inside that table header I'm just going to enter a title in there, but let's say it's going to be h3, and it's going to be class equals, I think I can just copy all of this as well, right, and just paste that right in there. There we go. And let's just make the font bold as well. Grab that, drop it right here, there. Now the details that will be on my table, I want that bold, and in there I'm just going to enter, let's go for register. That is going to be the register code. Just make that up, and I'm going to say -G009A. that is my register code. And the next thing is I'm going to enter some space, NB as SP. Just copy that across. Some space so that you guys can see it, and I'm going to just add some more. Copy that and just add it here, and some more. Okay, and right here I'm just going to then enter, let's enter the name of the course. Let's say it's BTech Extended Diploma, Extended National, let's say National Diploma. There we go. And let's close this H3, let's close it right here. Yeah, no, maybe after this. I'm going to save that. Okay, before we continue, let's try it out and just see how it looks like. I'm going to click on the browser and let's enter the URL for it. There we go, look at that. Alright, that's just what I've just done. BTech Extended National Diploma. Okay, that's fine. So let's go back into our code. But one thing I'd like to point out is, because I'm using a server, you need this. Okay, make sure you have that on your system. Exam. Okay, minimize the exam now. Come back to the code, and right underneath here, right underneath the header, if you like, you can also enter your footer. The choice is yours, but right now I don't need my footer. But if you want to enter a footer, this is how you enter the footer. Let me just show that to you. So let's say this is the footer, and just enter that, and that is how you get your footer in place. I don't need the footer, so I'm going to get rid of that. So what I need now is I want to declare my role for my table, and I will also enter the cell for my data, and this very cell will include a picture. That's for the picture, and close up that cell. Now I'm going to copy this because I will need a couple more. So the next one will be just for the number, so that will be number, and followed by students. Let's just call these. We have, let's undo that. That's an error there. Okay, good. Alright, come right out here, and this will be the, I think that will be the students here. And out here, enter one more. That's going to be my offering. That's meant to be the offering just for the course that we're actually offering the students. Alright, that is fine. Let's close this before we forget. And underneath here, I'm gonna get that closed. That's the role. I'm closing the role. Now I will now enter as follows. So for the very first cell here, let me just say Mac register, and underneath let's enter BG, and that's going to be for input. The input is going to be for type equals date. Right, close that. Then let's give it an ID, and this very first one, I'm going to make the ID, I just call it I Mac. Close that as well. Then the value, I'm going to make the value empty. There's nothing right there. Close. And let's close the cell. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this. I need about 7 of those. Right, that's fine. Okay, I think we should just save that, and let's go to the browser and see how that's gonna look like. So let's refresh. There we go. Look at that. So if I click on this now, I can just select the date. Okay, that's fine. Now back to my notepad. Okay, right underneath here, what I'm gonna do now is to create another role, and this very role will include the image that I intend to enter for the very first row there. So that's the very first row created with the cell. That's the image that I intend to use, and I've actually defined the size of the image I intend to use. So, and that would be number 1, and this is the name of my very first candidate. Maybe we can even change the name. Let's say it's Paul Parker. Let's get Parker in the house. There. And there. So if I run this now, okay, look at this. That's just the name of the course code. If I run it, this is what you guys will see. So let's save and go back in here and just refresh. There, that is it, and that's Paul Parker. Alright, so the next thing I want to do now is to add my options so that I can select who is present, when is present or absent. So first of all, let's go back in here, and right underneath here we're gonna create a cell, and inside this cell I'm just gonna say let's select, and the name is going to be, I'm just gonna give it a name that will refer to row 1 column 1. Right, that's fine. Close that. And the ID, I'm gonna make the ID equals, we can just call the ID I row 1 column 1. Okay, that's fine. I row 1 column 1. Make sure it's inside quote as well. That is the name and the row. Now what about, okay, the style. Okay, for the style I'm just going to enter style equals, let's define the width and so on. Okay, I have my style, the width, that's the width, and I also have one margin there, that's 1 pixels margin, and it's going to be along right. Okay, I've also entered the command that I'm going to be using, and that is on change equals my mark 1. Okay, this is for my, I'll be using this within my function anyway, this very one within my function. But right before we can do anything, we need this first. Let me create my option first. Option, say the value for this option equals the very first one I think I'm just going to enter a space in there, close that, and open up another one. This other one would be just to close the option. Now that is done, I'm going to copy this, paste it underneath here. Okay, now let's enter the condition present. If the student is present, this is what I want the system to do. So I'm going to just call this present 1, and right here enter /, and if the student is absent, let's make that 0. What about authorized absence? We'll just say authorized, and in there we're going to enter A. What about if the student is sick? The student can call in sick, so let's enter 1 for all of this, because I'm going to use the same thing for the rest. The student can call in sick, so we enter S for the S there. Supposing this student is late, so late 1. Okay, we enter L here, and let's assume the student has been transferred. We enter a T for transfer, and we just enter transfer here. There, transfer 1. Okay, we also need to close the select. Close that there. And what else do we need to close? We need to close this very, let's close that cell, table data, close that and save that. Let's come right down to our browser and see how this is going to look like. Okay, if I refresh, there we go, look at the very first one. See that? So I can then select and do what I want. That is fine. So all I'm just going to do now is just to speed up the whole process. Come right here and copy and paste. That's all I'm going to do with this now. Let's copy from here. So we'll copy that and come right down here. Let's make sure you paste it right here somewhere there. And what I'll do is this will be 2. So this will be row 1 column 2, and the same thing here as well. So this will be 2 as well, and all these values I'm just going to enter 2 there, 2 and 2 here as well, 2, yeah, right. Save that, and let's go to the browser and refresh. We expect 1 here, another 1 here. There we go, look at that. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back in here, just copy all of these and just speed it up. Copy and speed that up. Okay, I've pasted all of these. As you can see, they are all just copies, but what I've done is I decided to put a line there just to show you guys the beginning of each row. Okay, so let's take it from the top here. This is my very first row. Okay, you can see the picture number 1 bring it down. In total I should be having 8 rows. Okay, have a good look at it. Let's take it back up again. That's for the row 1 column 1, then underneath is row 2, row 1 column 2, row 1 column 3, row 1 column 4, row 1 column 5, row 1 column 6, and I have row 1 column 7. Right. Then I did exactly the same thing for row number 2. Okay, that is the name of the candidate or student picture, and there we go. And all the way down, so it's exactly the same thing. There isn't much different. Okay, so let's break this one into 2 so that you can see it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run it, and you guys see how it all looks like. It depends on how many columns you want. Alright, okay, let's just see, and we'll run it and you guys will see it. As you can see, there isn't anything special. It's just exactly the same thing I'm writing over and over again. Right, okay, let's run it now. Save that, come back in here and just click on this and just refresh. There, that is it, populated. But there's one thing I want to do. You see right underneath here, I want to enter another row, and this other row will include my that will just be text input. Okay, let's go back and just add that very row and add some text in there. So let's come right down here. Okay, right here I'm just going to enter another broken line. Let's copy this very line here and take it down. Alright, there we go. Alright, we don't need to add, I'm going to add a row here, and this very row let's also add table data, and this very table data I am going to, let's ask it to span about 4. Okay, yeah, 4 should do it, because yeah, span around 4. And I'm going to also add my class here, and that is going to be, open up this, yeah, those are meant to be inside the table data itself. So I'm going to make that tab 2, and what about the color? I'm going to make the BG, let's say BG white, and text, I want to make the text, let's say dark. Right, and close that and close this as well. Okay, and what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it attendance register total, or attendance register, attendance total. Okay, so let's close that, and I'm going to just save it and see how that looks like. So go in here and refresh. Yeah, look at that, that is fine. So let's add some text input in here now. So we'll come right in here. So the very first one I'm going to enter, so that will be my text input. So let's just say input, I'm going to need this again. Tab. Let's grab this. We create one and we can use that for all. Get rid of that. So the very first one is going to be input. I believe you guys know how to do that anyway. Input. The type of this input is going to be text. Now, what about the name? I'm just going to call that maybe txt register, or yeah, txt. Okay, txt register. Okay, txt register. There. We need to close this one as well. Alright, so ID. I'm going to make that ID, let's just say txt1. Yeah, that's fine, txt1. Then the style, let's say width, and the weight, let's say approximately 120. Let's to rhyme with the other one, and let's get it aligned right. Okay, align right, so we might as well just copy that and paste that in here. Align right. And what about the value? I'm going to say the value is 0 for now. There's nothing in there. Close that. So let's see this very first one and see how it looks like. Save that and come right here, refresh. There, look at that. But this seems to be too large. Okay, let's see. 120. Okay, so let's come back down here. Okay, I think this is the reason. There should have been a comma here. And in here, let me just enter. Let's say MB, that would be 2. Okay, let's save that again and just see how it's going to look now. Refresh. There we go, look at that, it's fine now. So all I just need to do now is just copy and paste. So I need a couple more. So bring this up, just grab, copy this, and paste it right underneath here. And let's assume this is txt range 1. This is 1, this will be 2, and this will be 2. So let's save that and see how that's gonna look like as well. Yeah, you see number 2 is there, so let's come right down. We need how many more? We need 5 more. So I'm just gonna copy and change it around. Copy that, paste, and just one more. No, yeah, and just one more. Copy this, paste, and this is 2, that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. There. That is it, all done. Save that and let's go to our browser, refresh, and there we go. That is it, all done. So all we then need to do now is just to add just 1 or 2 lines of code, 1 or 2 lines of function to get this, just to add up all the data in here. So back in here, we'll come right underneath here. Okay guys, and right underneath here I'm going to enter the functions that I intend to use. Let's paste that here, that I intend to use to carry out the calculation. Okay, so come right down here. I'm just going to enter that. That is, or those these lines of codes are the function. You can see I've entered script in there, and that is the name of each function. You can also use an if statement to get it sorted, but that's going to be another tutorial to make it work properly. But for now, just going to add up whatever you enter on the option box. So that is it. I declare a variable. Okay, whatever we have on the text box is added in here, and once you click on any of the option box, whatever value we have on the text box is incremented. That's all there is to it. I'm going to save that. Let's go back in here, because I also need to show you guys one other interface that I developed for each individual. So I'm going to have to refresh that, and let's come right here. Okay, let's see, this is 0. Select that. You see that 1, 2. Let's see this as well. 1, we have 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so that function takes care of that. So let's come in here and take care of this as well, and so on. Okay, one other thing is I need to show you the link that I've created for this. If I click on this, that will bring out the details of Paul Parker. So let's come in here first. Okay, let's just minimize that, and those are the functions. Now I'm going to show you the lines of code for each individual student. When you click on that, and that is what you get. This is it right here. That's the website for each individual student, personal details. I have a CSS there. Okay, and let's take a good look at it. And for the channel members, you can always just let me know, then I'll get you. I'll forward this code to my channel members. This is Paul Parker. I'm going to change this name to Parker. Right. Let's go right down. Right there. Okay. So we save that. Okay, so that we can call it the end of this tutorial. I don't want it to be too long. This is just something I copied from Bootstrap. You can always do that too. So I want to save that. So let's call this very learner1. That is the name I call it, learner1.php. So let's come right down here. For each individual student, I created a web page for them. So let's click on Paul Parker. That's Paul Parker. That's the details of Paul Parker. Okay, look at that. Alright, we have the academic here. It's male. Okay, Mr. and so on. Okay, let's go back in there. Let's see Tony Montana. That's Tony Montana there. Okay, let's change that to female. Her name just happens to be Tony. Okay, back in here, and let's see Kemi Lagos. Kemi Lagos is female as well. Change that to Kemi Lagos, and so on. Okay, I think this should have been Joe. Let's see. Yeah, Joe. That's okay, and that is Sunny, and that is Sally. There. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. And like I said, for you, my channel members, if you want, just give me a text, and I'll send you guys these lines of code. So thanks for that, and you all have a nice day now. Bye for now.